If you slog your entire day with the mouse rather than being a keyboard ninja, I'm going to talk about some very productive and insanely helpful Excel shortcuts. You're going to enjoy this a lot. Let's go check them out.
Yo.
Okay, so the first category of shortcuts is applying and removing filters. And one of the ways that I find insanely productive while applying filters on my data is to use something called as autofilter. In case you do not know what autofilter is and how do you set it up, I'm going to leave a link to another video that I have done on autofilter, and you should please take a look at that video. But right now I'm just going to quickly demonstrate what autofilter is. So if you take a look at my Excel right now, autofilter has already been added to my quick access toolbar. Now let's just say I want to filter for James. I can just click on James, and because autofilter is on the 4th position, I can just trigger Alt 4 as a keyboard shortcut to apply that filter. I can subsequently also go in the next columns, let's say to filter Datatronics as a customer, and then subsequently apply more filters. In case I want to remove the filter of the data right here, I can just simply press Ctrl Shift L. That is going to cancel out all the filters of the data. But in case I do not really want to remove all the filters of the data, just one filter of this customer column, then I'm going to press the Alt down arrow and press C to cancel out the filter only of that column that I applied the filter on. That's amazing. The next category of shortcuts is sorting, and I'm sure you are doing a lot of sorting on your data. So how do you apply a sorting shortcut? So let's just say that I would like to sort the dates in the ascending order. What I could do is just pick up any value of that data, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit the shortcut Alt ASA. This is going to sort the data in the ascending order. However, if I wanted the dates to be sorted in the descending order, the largest date first, then I'm going to use the shortcut Alt ASD, and this is going to sort the data in the descending order. This applies to text values. This also applies to numbers. So let's just say, for example, Alt ASA for ascending order, Alt ASD for descending order. Works beautifully. Next up are formula shortcuts. A lot of times when you're trying to write a formula in Excel, let's just say that I'm trying to write a count if function, Excel is going to give you these suggestions, and I can pick up any one of the suggestion. A lot of people don't know to auto-complete your function that you have selected. You just have to press the tab key. That's shortcut number 1. Let's just say that I go ahead and pick up a range. So let's just say I pick up this entire range, and you're going to see that now I am out of the focus of my formula. The formula I can still see up in the formula bar, but I can't really see the formula on the spreadsheet. However, I can continue to write the formula right here, but it's a little inconvenient. So how do I go back to my formula really quick? I can just press the shortcut Control Backspace after I'm done with my selection, and then continue to write my formula just the usual way, and this is going to work beautifully. Next up are our favorite pivot tables. So let's just say that I want to create a pivot table of this data. The simplest way to make a pivot table of this data is to use the shortcut Alt NV and then press enter, or you can just also press T. So Alt NVT or Alt NV enter. This is going to maybe trigger a pivot table, and then you can place the pivot table on any particular sheet. A lot of people are still stuck with the older pivot table shortcut, which is Alt DP. Now that triggers the old pivot table wizards. It has a few advantages in a few certain scenarios that you're trying to solve, but I will suggest that you use the new pivot table, which is Alt NVT, rather than using the old pivot table wizard to create your pivot tables. Next up is the new window shortcut. When I need it, I really need it. Take a look. I'm working in this Excel file, and for some reason, I want to open up the same Excel file one more time. Now, generally, you cannot do that. However, you can open up another window of the same Excel file. How do you do that? I'm going to use the shortcut Alt WN, and what this is going to do is this is going to open up the second instance of the same Excel file. This is instance number 2, and that is instance number 1. In case I want to do some validation or reconciliation between the data sets of the two files, I can just keep them side by side, and that is going to allow synchronous scrolling. Take a look. So in the view tab, I'm going to go right here and say view side by side, and that places both the Excel side by side. Now what has happened is synchronous scrolling has also taken place. So if you just maybe scroll on one file, the other file scrolls automatically, and it becomes a little more convenient to take a look at the data. What you can also do is you can work between two different sheets. So here I'm working on sheet 1, but however, you can also select sheet 1 or sheet 2 or any other sheet. In case you are making changes to any one of the windows, the changes are going to be synced across all the windows. You can just maybe close all the windows and finally save your file while you're closing the last window, and everything should be good. Alright, a quick interruption in the video. I'd like to give a quick shout out about my courses on Excel and on Power BI. In case you're a beginner and you would want to learn Excel or Power BI, Power Query, data modeling, and DAX in a structured way, and then even go on to solve more difficult, more challenging problems of your own data, be it with Excel or Power BI, I'd highly recommend that you take a look at my courses. It's going to be super awesome. Let's just get back to the video. Okay, the next leg of shortcuts are going to be the formatting shortcuts, and this is one of my favorite. Let's just say that you go onto the internet and you copy some data and you stick that data into your Excel. But once you do that, the data comes something like this, and you're kind of wondering that how do I kind of get all of this into shape quickly. So one of the shortcuts that I do to remove all the kind of formatting that carried from the source of the data is just to select the data and use the shortcut Alt-HEF to clean the formatting, and all the formatting goes away. Which also means that because your dates were formatted correctly, now they show up as numbers. In case you have a number and you'd like to transform that into a date format, in Excel, the way that you do that is select the data and then use the shortcut Control-Shift-3, and that is going to convert all this into dates. Now, a lot of times you're going to also find that maybe you want to have a decimal number added or a decimal number removed. The fastest way to add or remove decimal numbers is the shortcut Alt-H0 to add decimal numbers and Alt-H9 to remove decimal numbers, and that is going to be good. Now, one more shortcut. In case you have, let's say for example, dates, but you do not really want the dates and you would want to convert the dates back into a number format, the shortcut that I tend to use a lot is Control, Shift and tilde. Now, tilde is to the left of 1 could possibly be the most underutilized key on your keyboard, but hopefully I'm just gonna leave a picture on the screen and you should be able to find it. It's to the left of 1. The next set of shortcuts are your row and column shortcuts, and if you're cringing by taking a look at the data, that's exactly the feeling that I have too. So what we're going to do is on this data, first of all, make sure that the column width is auto set of all the columns that we have. So for that, I'm going to use the shortcut Alt-OCA, and this is going to make sure that the column width auto resizes to the width of the text in the column. And you can see that the columns have resized. The row height is also not pretty good. So what I can do is I can use the shortcut Alt-HOA, and that is going to resize the height of the row. Alt-OCA and Alt-HOA. These two shortcuts are going to be used for auto resizing the column width and auto resizing the row width. Now, in case you would want to set the width of the column to a certain width, a certain pixel number, what you can do is use the shortcut Alt-OCW, and that is going to allow you to set the width of the column manually. In case you would want to set the width of the row, sorry, not the width, but the height of the row, you can use the shortcut Alt-HOH, and that is going to give you the flexibility of setting the height of the row. In case you want to delete one or more columns of the data, you can just simply select them, use the shortcut Control Spacebar to select the entire column, and then simply use the shortcut Control- to remove the columns. Alternatively, in case you would want to remove the row of the data, you can use the shortcut Shift Spacebar to select the entire row, and then use the shortcut Control- to remove that row. Sometimes you just want to hide the column and you do not want to delete that. How do you hide a column? Simple enough. Just go to any cell, use the shortcut Control-0, and the column is hidden. How do you get it back? No, you don't press Control-Z. But what you do is select the columns which are surrounding. So B column and D columns are the surrounding columns of the column that we have just hidden, and then use the shortcut Alt-HOUL. Yes, it's that big. However, in case you want to hide the row, the shortcut is Control-9. In case you want to unhide the row, select the surrounding rows and use the shortcut Control-Shift-9 to unhide the row. Next up is Control-1. This is absolutely magical and one of my favorite shortcuts in Excel. Now, what can you do with Control-1? Control-1 literally allows you to open up the formatting settings of literally anything in Excel. For the moment, I have selected the cell and I can press Control-1. This is going to open up format cells, and you can format anything within the given options that you have. However, if I just maybe select the data, use the shortcut Alt-F1 to make a chart, I can also use Control-1 again to open up the formatting elements of the chart. I can maybe go ahead in the title right here, press Control-1, and this is going to be chart title format. If I could just maybe select the axis, I could just maybe press Control-1. This is going to be axis format. If I could just maybe select the series, press Control-1. This is the data series format. The point that I'm trying to make is that Control-1 allows you to open up the formatting of literally anything in Excel, be it a text box or maybe a general box. So let's just say that I made a box in Excel. If I want to open up the formatting of this, Control-1, and this is going to be format shape. So Control-1 is generally to access the format of anything that you would want. How awesome is that? All right, next up are the formula evaluation or formula auditing shortcuts. Take a look at this fake total that I've been working with. So this has a bunch of cells and ranges summed across, and I want to evaluate only a part of the formula. So let's just say that I'm just trying to evaluate, hey, what is this sum going to lead me to? Once I select that, you can see that the new feature of Excel just allows you to select a range of cell and tells you what is this going to evaluate out to. My last shortcut that I use a lot is Control Enter. Control Enter is used to confirm your formula in a bunch of selected cells. Now take a look at the little example that I'm presenting here. So let's just say that in all of these cells, I want to commit 1. So I can just write 1, but do not press enter after that. I now have to press Control Enter. Note that to be able to make use of Control Enter, I selected the cells first, and then Control Enter is going to work because it allows for the formula to be completed in multiple cells selected. And now if I press Control 1, the value goes in all the cells. Now, where all could you possibly use this in a real life application? Here is one example. Take a look at this 2-columnar data. Jan needs to be repeated all across. Feb needs to be filled down all across. March needs to be filled down all across. Now, I understand you can do that using Power Query, but what if for some reason you just want to quickly do that in Excel? So what I can do is I can select the range of data. I can simply use the shortcut Control G, go to Special and hit the blanks only. Say OK, and now only the blank cells are selected. Now this is going to allow me for selection of multiple ranges of the data. I can press the is equals to sign, select the cell above, but do not commit with an enter, rather commit with Control Enter. You can do paste special of values and you are kind of good to go. All right, that's been it. Let me know if you have any questions around this and a couple of things for you to do at the end of this video. In case you like any of the shortcuts that I spoke about that is going to help you be more productive with Excel, please smash the like button of this video. And I've also prepared a little PDF for you guys to download that so that you have all the shortcuts handy. You can perhaps pin that on your desk while you're working with Excel. Also, don't forget to watch this another video that I have done on Excel tricks. In case you work a lot with Excel, these are insanely good Excel tricks that are just going to blow your minds out, and you're going to have a lot of fun watching this video. In the end, in case you would like to join my courses, the link is down in the description. Please feel free to take a look at my courses on Power BI and on Excel as well. Thanks so much for watching this, and I will catch you again in the next video. Bye now.